How to Get Past Gatekeepers so you can reach key decision makers. It's actually an article I wrote on my blog and also just off my profile on LinkedIn. It's designed for B2B consultants, trainers and coaches and advisors. So there are basically 4 gatekeeper types that you should be aware of, and I'm just wondering, do you recognize any of these 3? The first one's the blocker. The blocker whose sole existence is to stop you getting anywhere near their boss. The second one is what I call the sadist. It's a person who actually enjoys swatting away hopeful consultants with the oh so polite, "Now where are you from again?" And the 9-to-5er. It's a person who's just so lazy and doesn't care, who before you've even introduced yourself has started saying, "He's busy right now, would you like to leave a message?" They're just filling in the time, they don't care. And of course the fourth one is the expert spouse. It's a person who knows just enough in your area of expertise to close down your message based on their own preconceived ideas. And that sucks, because when you can't get in front of key decision makers because of the gatekeepers, you're getting put under pressure. Now, if you have sales targets to meet, that makes it very, very difficult, especially when you've got a solution that you know can help the target key decision maker, but the gatekeepers just don't allow you to get there. So it's very important to find out a way to get around them. So what this becomes, it turns you into becoming a pushy salesperson, desperate to close a sale. And we know good old Gil from the Simpsons, you may recognize him. He was always desperate to close a sale, and we know that that's quite repulsive to the selling process, so we need to change that dynamic. Just quickly, I want to say welcome to the 1950s, where the traditional sales training all began. Okay, so for B2B sales training meant cold calling, appointment setting, and how to handle gatekeepers. It was very structured and methodical, and it actually has continued on pretty much all of the 20th century and even into these decades as well, but definitely very strong in the 60s, 70s and the 80s onward, going for that traditional sales approach. It hasn't really changed much. But the thing is, not only were the sales training empowering people to sell their business professional services to B2B companies, but also the B2B companies themselves became really, really prepared. The gatekeepers became adept at dealing with traditional selling tactics, and that's because they would be going to training colleges where they were trained about these tactics as well. So they were fully aware of what was going on and they were trained to look out for it. And so as a result, they could create a fortress right around their key decision maker that their role is to protect. Okay, they're going to vet to save the key decision maker's time. So there was a strong fortress created as a result, because they were well aware of what was going on and was getting taught. But in the post-social media era, social selling has been making those fortress walls porous, because people are setting up profiles. These are key decision makers setting up a profile on Twitter or on LinkedIn, YouTube and Facebook, etc. So it's very, very hard for gatekeepers to control access. It doesn't mean it's easy to get to them, but it certainly makes these fortress walls that were designed to protect key decision makers, they're a lot more porous now. But if you're still stuck using the 1950s approach, you'll end up doing hard graft, just like Willy Loman from Death of a Salesman. And so just doing cold calling, the appointment setting, doing it the hard way, that's the 1950s approach. But B2B in the 21st century, by taking a different approach, allows you to breeze past gatekeepers. So we want to start thinking about how we can use all these things. And it's really, really important to understand that the traditional approach is mired in logic. And basically the analogy or the thinking of someone who's taking a more traditional logical approach is, if there's enough reasons or merit to buy, surely they will. So they're just trying to stack logical arguments why they should be buying your product or service. But what we know is that people buy with their heart and emotion, and justify or validate their decision with their head, using their intellect. So we've got to turn the equation around and lead with emotion. Now, a classic example of that is the transformation of Apple. Like 20 years ago, they were nearly bankrupt, and now they've transformed into the world's most valuable company. And how did they do that? It wasn't because they were selling logical arguments for their computers about RAM speed and screen display. What they were targeting was the buyer's emotions and desires in their products, and how they made them feel and what they made them do. They transformed the company. So the question becomes, how can we create an emotional connection with a key decision maker and get past their gatekeeper? It's very, very strategic question that you've got to consider right now. Well, how we do it is by targeting their ego. The ego is at the heart of emotion. It is the ultimate form of making it all about them. Now, you would have been bombarded across the internet, across all social channels, espoused by the content marketing guru saying everything's got to be about them. You've got to help before you sell. You've got to provide value first. And it's just a never-ending ad nauseum around that. Well, by targeting your ideal client's ego, that is the ultimate form of making it about them. So by targeting emotion, being the ego, you position yourself inside a far more favorable space to have a meaningful conversation. So the issue remains, how do you engage with a key decision maker in a manner that will target their own ego, engage emotions, and have them want to talk to you? Meanwhile, chasing prospective clients, this is really, really important, means you're approaching them from a point of weakness. Okay? So when people are chasing, it's like dating. You can't appear too enthusiastic too early. But if a buyer comes to you, it's the Holy Grail of sales. Sales conversions are naturally going to be higher when a potential prospect, a potential buyer comes and seeks you out first. It's always the way. So when a buyer comes to you, you're talking from a position of authority and strength, which increases your conversion rates. So for most B2B consultants, they're caught between a rock and a hard place of needing to do activity and prospecting to make budget, but cannot appear to be chasing sales. So it's very much a paradox there. So it's very, very difficult and a challenge that needs to be overcome. So as a result, getting your message in front of key decision makers consistently becomes quite difficult. And then it becomes a vicious cycle. You need to make a sale, but all of a sudden, because you're reaching out, you're looking weaker and you're looking eager. So it makes you look desperate, which actually repels the sales process and your chances of closing a sale. But at the same time, that then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because making the need for a sale even greater, and just a vicious cycle that keeps compounding. So breaking this vicious cycle, breaking the sales dependency cycle, is the key to a thriving and successful consulting business. We've got to snap this vicious loop in order for your consultancy to thrive. So how is it broken? By getting past the gatekeeper and creating a space where a prospective client wants to talk to you. That's the space that we've got to create. And once again, we do that by targeting our ideal client's ego, by using what I call an elegant door opener. Now, this elegant door opener is designed to get more access to more decision makers on a consistent basis. It's so elegant, you'll never feel salesy or high pressure reaching out to potential clients, which is a real problem for a lot of people. They're focused on excellent service delivery and getting outstanding results, but they don't want to cold call people. They don't want to reach out and be a high pressure salesman. This elegant door opener eliminates that altogether, and it's initiated from a position of strength and leveraging ego. So it's very, very important that you're now making an approach from a position of strength, not weakness. Stronger positioning means you're now on a level playing terms with a potential client, even though it was you who made the first move, and subconsciously influencing a potential client by removing their inbuilt BS detection system during your talk. So that's really, really important, because if they trust you and like you, all of a sudden they'll be thinking, you're not trying to sell to me, I want to hear from you, because you're targeting their ego. So the elegant door opener, with this device, you're now positioned to get your message through, because it's warm, receptive environment and there's not a gatekeeper in sight. But most importantly, it helps your prospects look good, because if you're helping your prospect look good and in their position, you're now providing an emotional service, and that's where we want to go. We want to move away from logic and intellect into the emotional category. So when you've made someone look and feel good, they'll naturally be more open to what you have to say. And so the elegant door opener is the device to start an ongoing relationship with a key decision maker. And that's what it is. You need that foot in the door, that nice, elegant door opener to start the relationship. And of course, good consulting practice and methodology is consultative, and it is relationship building, moving from a service provider to a trusted advisor. So I've created a simple checklist here. It's called the Elegant Door Opener, how to easily reach key decision makers without getting blocked by overzealous gatekeepers. And what it's designed to do is help transform you from the stressed out, desperate salesman that's good old Gil into an authority, positioned as a powerful strength brand, and get those doors open for you. So that's what the Elegant Door Opener does. Now all you've got to do to get it is just go to www.elegant-door-opener to get it, or click inside the video, and I'll also have it below in the description as well. So make sure you get over there. It is free, and there's some follow-up training there to help you get the most out of it. If you take action, you'll be reaching out and getting consistently in front of decision makers all the time. My name is Wes Ward. Thank you for watching my little video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now.